Hello, everybody. Thank you, President Barron. I had to follow that, so fantastic. And so, Taylor, we like Google Slides, both of us. But I'm talking today about access and affordability in terms of our land grant mission. And just to give you a little bit of background, it comes down to accessibility and affordability. So the Morrill Land Grant Act was signed by Abraham Lincoln in 1862, and it states to promote the liberal and practical education of the industrial classes in all the pursuits and professions of life. Accessible, affordable to every class that exists. And let's translate that. This number, $17,514. That's the cost of in-state tuition to attend Penn State. How do we compare? The second highest in-state tuition of any university that is public in the country. We're beat out by one university, and that is Pitt. So Pennsylvania has a problem if it's not clear. And so to me, that translates to a kid who had strong overall game. And my parents are the ones that are funding me. My parents are immigrants. My dad came from Panama. My mom came from El Salvador. And because of their hard work, they went from having nothing to be able to send their kid to be the first person in my family to go to college. But my story's not unique whatsoever. There are thousands of first-generation students and first-generation Americans who are involved. And by first-generation students, I'm talking about the first time that somebody in their family gets to go to college. And these pioneers are all of us. It doesn't have a specific racial line because it's not just Hispanics or blacks, it's inner city, it's rural. A lot of these people are trying to come to get ahead. And so the benefits of a bachelor degree are obvious, I think. Socioeconomic mobility. You are almost guaranteed to receive a higher income bracket if you have a bachelor's degree than your parents. Pretty clear. Professional development, going into a workplace environment, competing with other students who are oftentimes smarter than you. I've learned that really fast. But also culture education. Being able to see low-income students talk to high-income students, often of diverse backgrounds. And the reverse is true as well in terms of Penn State. They receive the benefit of getting a cultural education, introducing ourselves to different backgrounds. And it also means greater prestige. Because if you ensure that every single person has the access to the university, then you have a bigger talent pool. Because we should not dictate who gets to go to college based on what zip code you're born into. And so we are trying to gain that prestige and go for innovation. So that's why we need to ensure that low-income students get to come to Penn State. So the blame game. We're dealing with this right now in the House of Reps here in Pennsylvania. But it's not just government. It's the university. It's the individual. So we have to look at all aspects of why tuition is the way it is. It's my fault. It's all of our faults. Because we need to have a plan of action of how to pay for college before we come here and do research. So Pell Grants, scholarships, and ensuring that your parents are able to actually afford it. That would be very nice. But also comes down to an ideology that is in competition within institutions such as the Board of Trustees. As a university, do we want to just run it like a business? President Barron mentioned the amount of applicants we had this year. 87,000, that's a record for undergraduates at University Park. And even if tuition went up, we could still fill the quotas because of that high demand. But just understand that that is a cycle of wealth that we are creating because only the people that have the money to go to college will be able to get ahead, rather than attracting the best and the brightest that can come from any single zip code. So we have to get our priorities straight because we are a family and we are a service. And so we have to look at the university and we have to think critically. State appropriations is a huge deal. But if you look at studies done by the Department of Education, you see that a major problem is also the university problems. administrative bloat. We have seen within 16-year period, increase of administrators go up by 60% on average, versus faculty to student ratios that have stayed stagnant. So it's not faculty. We have to look at, are we doing enough in terms of avoiding administrative bloat? And it also means fighting, building wonders of the world. You know, we pass a lot of new construction in the Board of Trustees, and we should just slow down and ensure that we are making the proper investments. And the money that we save there should be going to increase needs-based assistance to ensure that the pioneers are getting their fair shot. And it comes down to this mantra: we are worth funding. This is a mantra we use when we're kind of advocating for more more appropriations from the State House and Senate, making the case that we are worth funding as students because we are Pennsylvania and the future of Pennsylvania. But we also have to ensure that student engagement is not just in government. Student engagement is in the university. And I'll share a story. We recently, as the UPUA and our partner student governments, came out against a new update to recreational facilities because, in our belief, it was a waste of money. And we voiced that opinion to the Board of Trustees. And that decision was therefore tabled because students spoke up and the trustees said, we need to listen to our customers. So we need to ensure that everybody's being educated in terms of where our tuition dollars are going and ensuring that they're engaged in the conversation of how we budget Penn State. And that with that, we'll make Penn State great again. Thank you.